Bonjour. So the technology tip that I want to show you today is because I think that a lot of us teachers are really missing using manipulatives in the classroom. And what I'm going to show you is a way to essentially do a verb puzzle or a dominoes puzzle. It could also work really well with math and formulas, but essentially a type of dominoes matching puzzle that you can do virtually and is really great for breakout rooms and distance learning. I want to start by showing you how to use the puzzle. So it's important that you tell your students not to be in presentation mode, because in presentation mode, they won't be able to see the puzzle pieces. Here, you can barely see the puzzle pieces, so you need to zoom out. So I do that by hitting these three dots and pushing up, and that kind of just resizes my slide and allows me to see the puzzle pieces, which I can then move around. For your students to be able to work collaboratively in groups, they need to share, enter the email of whoever they're working with, and make sure that that person has access as an editor. That will allow all of the teams to work together, even if they're not in the same room. For my puzzles, I've also included an answer key, but I usually delete that answer key before I give it to students. And for mine, I also like to do a little mix. So I'm a foreign language teacher. I teach French and Spanish. I like to do a mix of grammar. So here you have an infinitive of a verb with a subject and the conjugation on the other end. But I also like to do a vocabulary practice. So they're making associations with the picture and the subject and knowing how to conjugate the verb. And I have a little cheat sheet here. So I designed this entire thing on Canva. It is time consuming, but I've done the most time consuming part for you is I've created a template that you can use. So this is Canva, probably my favorite educational program that I use in the classroom. You're able to design all kinds of things. I designed my templates in presentation mode because I want it to be the right size to fit on Google Slides. Here it says verbs, but you could just as easily change that to say formulas or anything that you'd like for your class. All of this you can move and switch out. You would just go to elements and then you would type in whatever it is that you want to add and you can delete things. So you can customize that for whatever subject. And as you can see here, I've put in a little math problem with the answer on the other side. So I can just type right in here and put my answer on the other side. You can change the size of these. You can highlight it and change the size over here. You can make it a little bit bigger if you need, or you can also just make it wider if you need more space. And this tool allows you to change the direction, which you won't need to do because I already went ahead and did that for you, but that might be useful if you wanted to do one with images. Put the picture here and then put the answer here. Once you're done designing your template and putting in your questions and answers, you're going to want to download it. Important that you download it as a PNG or a JPEG because you can't insert a PDF into Google Slides. So I'll go ahead and download that as a JPEG. Once I have my downloads open, I can just drag the images. So it created them in a folder because there are several images. So I'll go ahead and start with number 1 and I'll drag it onto that first page. So this will be the template where your students will drag the little answer pieces. So this is the answer key, which you may or may not want to include for students. The way to create this is actually to go Control-C and Control-V. And then you're going to do the tedious part, which is just cropping all of the little puzzle pieces. You'll have to go ahead and do that several times until you have them all. So here, I tend to just put them all on top. That way I don't crop the same image twice or I don't miss one. Once you're finished, you're certain that you have all of your pieces because you can see that they're all overlaid on the puzzle. You can move them off to the sides. I'm just going to make sure that I put them in a random order to make the puzzle a little more challenging for the students. Okay, so I know that was time consuming, but I challenge you to remember a time when we used to use paper manipulatives. We used to have to print them, cut them out, laminate them, and then if a student lost one puzzle piece, the whole puzzle was ruined. So I'm going to be using virtual manipulatives from here on out, and I think it's definitely worth the time to create a few. And please subscribe. It helps me a lot. Merci.